To verify if the girl was truly the heiress, the adopted daughter, while helping her adjust the crown, pulled out one of her hairs. She then gave it to the maid for a paternity test. The real heiress had already been killed by her, so she could never come back to life. It turned out that just a month ago, the richest family had finally found their real daughter, who had been lost for 20 years. To make up for the years they lost with her, the parents threw a grand reunion banquet. But the day before the banquet, the adopted daughter worried the real heiress would return and threaten her position. She sent a killer to murder the real heiress. The real heiress, unwilling to die so easily, asked her best friend to take her place and return to the wealthy family. She planned to enjoy the life she never had and seek revenge for her death. The reunion banquet was held the next day as scheduled. Just when everyone thought the real heiress was a country bumpkin, the girl stunned everyone as soon as she stepped out of the car. Seeing the dazzling girl in the crowd, the adopted daughter was consumed with jealousy. She immediately called the killer to ask why the job wasn't finished. The killer firmly told her the real heiress had been killed and couldn't possibly come back. The adopted daughter then realized the girl at the banquet was a fake. She quickly came up with a plan. To figure out the girl's identity, the adopted daughter pretended to be generous and took her to the jewelry cabinet. She told the girl to choose any piece as a gift. She was sure that the real heiress, who grew up in the countryside, couldn't tell the value of these jewels. But to her surprise, the girl chose a plain crown after looking around. The adopted daughter was furious. This crown was the most expensive piece she owned and she couldn't just let the girl have it. She pretended to hesitate and said the crown was a special gift from her mother. It had sentimental value. Seeing this, her mother urged the girl to choose something else. After all, this piece meant a lot to the adopted daughter. But to her shock, the girl's eyes welled up with tears. She said she envied her sister for having such an expensive gift. Unlike her, on her coming-of-age day, she only received an egg. The mother, feeling guilty, immediately decided to give the crown to the girl. The adopted daughter, unable to stand it anymore, insisted the girl needed a medical checkup because she was so frail. She could also take the opportunity to have a paternity test done on the girl. The girl was shocked by the suggestion, but to avoid arousing suspicion from her mother, she pretended to be unwell and ran to the bathroom. Hearing her mother chasing after her, the girl frantically washed her hands under the faucet. When her mother saw this, she immediately asked what she was doing, but the girl, looking terrified, quickly pulled her hands back. Through tears, the girl told her mother that although she came from the countryside, she was perfectly healthy. She wasn't carrying any viruses as people had said. The mother, furious, couldn't believe her daughter had been treated so unfairly on her first day back. At that moment, the adopted daughter eagerly brought the doctor for the checkup. The mother, seeing this, angrily sent the doctor away. She warned that no one could examine the girl without her permission. To defend the girl, the mother called the adopted daughter outside. She told her to behave and warned that if she heard anything bad about the girl again, she wouldn't be so polite. The adopted daughter was on the verge of tears. She had always been the one bullying others. When had she ever been treated like this? At this point, the girl suddenly approached the adopted daughter. She kindly reminded her that there were no cameras by the stairs. The adopted daughter sneered. She thought the girl was trying to stage a fall, but unexpectedly, the girl suddenly pushed her down the stairs. The adopted daughter, unprepared, tumbled down and was badly hurt. The mother and brother quickly arrived after hearing the noise. Seeing the adopted daughter injured, the brother immediately turned on the girl. Just as